Okay, so welcome to lesson number 7, and in this lesson I will explain you about flow control. That's what makes your program make decisions, and it's fairly simple to understand, and I'll show you some examples. Let's first open a file, so we will stop working with the console directly, and we'll start working in a file that's a little bit more convenient. So we go to File and then New File, and then this opens a file that we can edit. So I'm gonna save it for now. Save as let's call it just flow control.py. Save. Okay. So flow is all about doing something when something happens and doing something else when something else happens. So this can be easily done with if and else statements, and it looks like this. So we can, for instance, have a variable a, which is set to the number 1, and then we can write if a is bigger than 2, then print something. So we can say a is bigger than 2, and if this is not the case, else, then we'll print a is not bigger, a is not bigger than 2. Okay, so let's run the script, and we can do so by pressing F5, and it asks if the script must be saved. Yes, and then a is not bigger than 2. That's what it writes. I'm going to put this on the right hand side and this one on the left hand side, so it's easier for you to see how it relates. So so if we change a in the script to 3, then it should print a is bigger than 2. Well, let's see. F5. There we go. A is bigger than 2. So this is a fairly simple beginning, but you can also add some more possibilities. So if a is bigger than 2, we want to print a is bigger than 2, and then we can do what is called an elif. So we can do another if statement saying if the first if statement was not true, then evaluate the second if statement, which is the elif. Elif a is, let's say, smaller than 0, then we print a is smaller than 0. Yes, and if that's not the case, then if nothing else is could be checked, then we print a is not bigger than 2, which in this case should be is not bigger than 2 and not smaller than 0, or in other words, it's between 0 and 2. So if we run this, we will still get the same answer, it's bigger than 2. Just to show you, F5, save, a is bigger than 2. So let's talk also a little bit more about how you can make comparisons in these if statements. So you can do if a is bigger than 2, but you could also say if a is bigger or equal than 2. So that this would evaluate to true if a is 2 or 2.1, 2.3, etc. But we could also say, let's just delete everything here. We could also use a negative expression. So we could say if A is not 3, then we will print something, print 1. So the exclamation mark is a negative, yes, and at the same way, if we want to do a comparison, we do double is sign. So here one comparison sign, one is sign means assign the value of 3 to the variable A. But if we want to check if something is true, if A really is 3, then we have to do double signs, because if we would do like this, it would be assigning. So if I would run this, we would get an error. Let me show you this. It says invalid syntax. Yeah, because this is not correct syntax. You cannot set a value to a variable in an if statement. You can only compare. So just to show you that A is 3 evaluates to true or false, we could write something like A is 3. Yeah, so we've set A to 3 in the console, and then A double is sign 3. So that's a comparison. That's checking if A is actually 3. If this is true, then it will say true, else it will say false. So here it says true, which means this if statement here would evaluate to true. So this is true. We could also say if true, print 1, or if A is 3, print 1. So if we run this, it will print 1 to the console. Yes, so if statements compare to Boolean value, see if Boolean values are either true or false, and if true, it will do what's in the if statement below, else it will skip it. So let me see what else I wanted to say about this. Yes, we can also see if a value is part of a list of values, for instance. So let's say we have that A is not a value, but it's a list of different values like 1, 2, 3, and then we want to see if 5, if this is in the list of values. If it's in there, we want to print out 1, else not. So if we run this, F5, it does not say anything here below. But if we check if 3 is in the list, then that should evaluate to true and print 1. So let's run that. And there you have it, it prints 1. So you can check for values in a list, or you can check if a variable has a certain value, and then based on that do a certain action. So that's flow control, or at least the beginning of flow control, and I hope you like this lesson. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and write some comments if you have some questions or want to see some more about flow control. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.